Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, I went to start my stream and I noticed I hadn't set it up. So we're up and running now. So hopefully we should get a few people in. I think you guys tend to get a notification, don't you? I think. So hope everyone's had a good weekend. Ready for business. Hopefully things should pick up this week. More and more people are getting back to work. So fingers crossed. I did look at this here. We were going sideways. I did have a look at this, but it's so close to the open, you never know whether we're going to tick up and flush down. But my guess is we were going to push up, but it's just too close to the open, really, to take a risk at that is, I think. So, let's see if we get a second leg up. So, yeah, hopefully we'll make some money. So last week I did, I think total, I did a little bit, not much, about 3,400, just under 3,500 for the week. So even if you have a poor week, it's not the worst week in the world, is it? So we got a nice measured move there. So let's see if price comes back to the EMA. It probably will. I don't think there's a larger channel there. It doesn't really make much sense to me, that. So, where am I looking on Bookmap? Now, there are sellers around about the 82.50, which is there. That's interesting. And there are sellers at just below 85. And both those sellers are below the high there. So that tells me this is more likely going to come at least down to that EMA. It's looking like it. We got a little mini channel there, so we have a pullback here. There's going to be some sellers there, so some may take that back to the EMA. That's the type of trade that Mac tends to mark sometimes. Got a perfect measured move and a bearish bar. We've got a bull bar there which triggered below this bear bar. So we got a little micro with a break. Now, my guess is that's probably going to come back to that EMA. So there are some sellers there and sellers there. Now, there are sellers further up at 90, which may mean it goes up. But if I was a betting man, I would say it's more likely going to come to the EMA or certainly below that bull bar. It's a little bit too risky for me, I think. You know, my guess it's more likely, but I don't want to take a risk on more likely. What's the ATI? ATR's 3 1/3, isn't it, at the moment? So if it stops that out, which it probably will, my only slight concern is there are sellers here and here, so we'll see. The fact is they're not above there, which is interesting, which tells me traders, for me, more think it's likely to come down a bit. There's nothing I can say here, really. Got a channel break. It's only really a first entry. My guess is that's going to come down. So I don't think that's a terrible trade. If it, well, I don't know. It's 14 ticks. It ain't finished very good. It may be looking a bit congested now. So who knows? I still think I just don't like that little bit of a wicker there. But my guess is it's probably going to come down. It's hard to say. See, if you look on here, there's a second entry long which is triggered. Now, is this going to come down? So there are sellers there. Sellers at 85, which is just close to that top, but not above it. Yes, well, I mean, it didn't trigger anyway, but that's why I kind of stayed out of it. I could see there was sellers there, but it's just one of those things. With the little channel down there and a break, my guess is it was probably going to make a second leg, but it didn't. Sometimes it just doesn't, which is why I tend to leave those alone. There's nothing for me there anyway. Beach Bum, how you doing, bud? Jeff, how you doing, matey? So is there a larger channel up here? Possible. Possible. It's a well, it doesn't look terrible, does it? Doesn't look terrible. Maybe there is. I'm not so sure, really. So we had a measured leg anyway. We had a small pullback, but it did continue up. Now, if you look on Bookmap, most of the orders I can see are up here as far as 95. That's probably around 7,000 there. So we've got orders at 95, which is there, sellers, and all this is going to add up in slowly dragging price up. So we got orders at 90, orders at 95, orders at 7,000, and all these things are dragging price up. So the fact that we had the measured move, it didn't get back to the EMA and pushed up again. For me, I'd say this is going to continue up. So if we could get a couple of legs back, let me just put that there like that. I think that might not be terrible. We got a touch, a touch, a touch. It's not terrible. Maybe we got a smaller one there with a break and a new high. Tough one. I got mixed feelings. It may be something larger. I don't know. So what I'm going to do for now is just kill the colour. So it's an area of interest. Richard, how you doing, buddy? Morning to you. Yeah, sorry, I never put my stream on this one. I thought I had it set up Friday. No, never did. So Thomas Wade has got that like that with a possible overshoot. Now, sometimes in an overshoot, it does come back, pushes up, makes a new high, and then reverses. But as I'm seeing all these orders up here, as we know, these act as magnets, and I can't see many orders. Now, there are buyers at 85, which is good. That tallies up with this move up. We pull back a bit, buyers get in, sellers up here, sellers up here. So for me, I think this is likely going to go up some more. Now, obviously, things can change with aggressive buyers and sellers. So let me take that up to there. It's only one touch, that. So Thomas Wade has it here with the overshoot. Now, we've only had one touch of this. So is that the accurate one or is that the accurate one? With the others turning at this level, for me, I'd say it's more likely that. If we've got sellers up here, this is clearly trending up at the moment. So we've took out, there was some sellers there, which is now gone. Let's see if we get a put. The trouble is, if we've not got a hell of a lot of buyers here, which we haven't, that, that reduces the likelihood of it pulling back to this level. And unfortunately, when it's way above that EMA, there's just no way to enter there. So 95, which is why I think this may continue up in this top sell channel. Sorry, top tier. Sorry, top sell, top tier. There are some here, but not enough, I don't think. But if we get some profit taken here, then that, obviously the lack of buyers there, obviously if you're buying here, if they take profit, that kind of converts to a sell order, doesn't it? They sell their profits, sell their what's it. So that's probably mean it's going to come back anyway. But if we can get two nice legs down, so let me just put this up here. So we've got sellers at 92.5, which is above price, which is good. There's three bunches of orders here. You can see them here and here and here. Now, these are going to be pulling to get this up. I just hope we manage to get back here somewhere. See, there are slightly larger orders at 77.5, but that for me is too low. It's below this bit of liquidity here. But if we had a break of the channel, it may get there. So I'm going to leave that order there anyway, just showing. There's 104 contracts there, but we've got 82.5, which is there. We've got 890 contracts. So I don't think this is going to come back before it hits there, even with that bull bar into the top. For me, with those big orders there, Hold on a minute, they've just been yanked. No, sorry, tell a lie. I think they've just been hit. Yeah, they have. So 95s, and that, can you see when you got strong orders up here and not so much down here? It just doesn't come down. It just continues up in this top. Russell, how you doing, buddy? Just continue up in this top tier. You can see them up here. So 95s, another. So what? 2, 4, 6. We got about 650 contracts for sale in this area, and a fraction of that down below. So for me, it's going to continue up in this top area. I think I can't get my words out today. Top tier. CL charts just kind of chopping at the moment. There's no real picture there. We're just chopping up and down. So there's nothing much I can really do here at the moment. So just keeping an eye on that. So there's bound to be a little bit of profit taking, but there was here. But then all of a sudden, buyers came back in and up it went again. And with these sellers up here quite strong in this area and not enough buyers here, you can see what price is doing. It's skirting it along the top of that line. That's why I love having this. You can kind of predict with reasonable accuracy where this is going. So for me, that's not an overshoot now. It's still working nice there. So I'm quite happy how that is. Now, when we hit these sellers up here, if we do manage to get some kind of a pullback, I don't think it will be the worst entry to continue long to test these highs up here. So we touched 95. In fact, those orders have actually been taken, or they have now anyway. 97.5 now. There are some a little bit further up. 97.5 around here. So let's see what happens. A little bit of sideways here, so that might mean people may take profits. So we may see a smaller pullback. Yeah, Thomas Wade's moved his now. He's no longer got the overshoot. He's got that in line there, but you can see how nice that was working with. But we took some orders there at 95, and it is going a bit sideways. So you would naturally think traders will be thinking, right, okay, let's get my stop right up here. It's struggling a bit there. Pull up, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, going a bit sideways. That would be the place to take profits, which is why we're getting a little bit of a pullback. So with those orders up here, if we manage to get a couple of little legs back, we may get an opportunity, possible. Second entry long here, we'll see. Let's just see how this looks. It's quite different, this is. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. Probably take that from that. That looks okay to me. So is that bull bar there a little weak? It's quite a strong market. I wouldn't take that. I'd expect it to come back. So maybe we have maybe we get a second entry here. Ooh. I'm going to get an order ready, that's for certain.
Order submitted.
Little channel with a break. See if we get a bull bar down here. We've definitely still got sellers up here. That looks okay to me. Let's see how this works. Okay, that bar's a bit too neutral. This one's still on the move. Still got those orders up there, although they're not as strong as they were. Small risk there. Don't like what it's doing now, though. So 85, there are some buyers at 85, which is down here below there. I don't think the bar's terrible. It's just something I'm not too keen on at the moment. 2 little legs back. See what happens here. 13 ticks. I think it's probably going to get up. That doesn't look too bad. If we get... Turn this down a sec. See, it is an engulfing bar, which do make them a little bit less reliable. So I'm just going to sit out of this one, I think, at the
Order
moment.
cancelled.
It's just not as strong as it's been. It's been strong here, and then we start to go a little bit sideways. Now, my guess is when it does that, it's struggling a little bit, and you may likely get profit taking, which may create this. Now, it may go up a bit higher, but if you look on this chart here, there could be a little channel with a break, and sometimes if you're getting a bit premature here, it is an engulfing bar. They are less accurate. If you get a little bit premature, we may get a second leg down to this bottom tier here. Now, if you look down here, we have got 85. There are buyers. I think that's a bit low personally, but it's around here, so maybe I don't know. I've taken trades like this before, and it didn't end well. So for me, I think this is going to come down. It may not. It may push up. There's strong orders up there at 96. That's interesting. That may pull this up, but I'm not taking that, to be honest with you. We're nearly at the top anyway. There's no room left. I mean, it's what, 15 ticks, tick above, tick below, 16. That's 17 ticks with a tick above. I'm not taking 17 ticks. There's nothing left. May go up. I don't care. There's a point at best there, really, because it's got to push through. So this is risky for me, but there are large orders at 06, but it's still not far enough for me. It's only a tick up there. I go for sort of 3 points, so it's going to have to get 3.25. I ain't sitting in there for that. Those big orders there, do you see them? Those big orders there, they just got yanked. So that might be sucking price up, sucking buyers in, and now this thing may drop. Those big orders at 96 pulled price up. Now it's disappeared. There are still bigger orders up there, but my guess is this might have a flush down. You're going to have stops here and here. We'll see. It's interesting. That is Laufey. How you doing, matey? So second entry short here. Now I don't counter trend trade, but my guess is it'll probably flush down to here and here. What do they call that? Spoofing or something where they put those orders on. We'll see. There are orders up there around about the 7,000. It looks like it's on its way. So it would have worked, but for me, no good. It's too congested there. And going in right at the top, you've got to be out before the tops. There was a point at best. So it's just, for me, it's no good anyway. So I'm quite happy to leave that. Doesn't bother me. So this little second entry on here, if you took that, it did eventually work. It didn't come back. As I say, I don't think it was the worst looking trade in the world. It's not in a terrible place. It's no good for me, to be honest with you. I'm just not a massive fan. It's not terrible. It clearly worked. I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Wade took that. Let me have a look. Depends if he's been stung a bit lately. No, I don't think he did. people said they were close to taking it, but they left it. Yeah, Dan didn't take it anyway. It did work. As I say, it's clearly two little legs back, and it worked. It's it's off the EMA. It's clearly up, so it's got more chance of working than not. But if you took right below it, yeah, it did. See, if you look here, the bar off the bottom there worked. This one didn't. So you'd have to take that one. It was a bit bigger that, with not a lot of room to the highs, so I'm quite happy to leave it. Smooth it up a bit. So it does look like it's working nice now along there. So I like this. I think the channel looks nice. I'm quite happy with it. Now, we've pushed up and hit those sellers at 7,000. We didn't quite get to the top, so we may get a break here. We'll see. Hold on a second. We at all-time highs? I think we have, haven't we? Oh, we hit all-time highs on Friday. I didn't realise that. Yeah, we did, didn't we? We hit all-time highs. Trouble is, this little wedge is getting smaller and smaller, so it's going to pop in some direction. Yeah, I didn't realise Fridays we hit all-time highs and then a little bit of a pullback. Interesting. So all-time highs is where Fridays was. So all-time highs, where's the lock there? So, you dickhead. Excuse me. Okay. I've unlocked it, haven't I? Yeah. There we go. So all-time highs up here. So we hit it on Friday. Looks like we may be aiming upwards again. Let me just put that there. Now, see how we've had two pushes up there. Now, this for me looks like it's losing a little bit of momentum. So I'm quite happy that looks okay for me. Touch. Touch. It's fitting nice along the top. It looks okay, that does. So, sellers at 702.50, which is there. And it's 7,000, which is there. So 1, 2, maybe a triple test here. See if this pushes up. Trouble is, I don't like going short in triple tests in a strung uptrend. Now, some may say that might have broken. It might be slightly different, but I still wouldn't take it. But there are strong sellers. The trouble is, you get one here, you short here. There's sellers further up, so it may go up and hit those, and then you're going to be stopping out 3 lots or 2 previous lots. So just sitting tight here at the moment. Okay, so down, it's got this same channel. But he's got a little bit tighter about there, say. Just a fraction. I don't see how it can be anything else, really. It's fitting really nicely. So, okay, so we had a couple of bounces there, and we've pushed up even higher. So this is quite strong at the moment. Sellers right up to just below 5, which is, let's say, there. We're getting. I mean, this is having a strong push up, isn't it? Fair old point move as well, that. So we're up 50 odd points. So we dropped 50 points and we're up. Well, we dropped about 60 points and we're up. Very close. Yeah, it's still quite strong. See, as that looks there, Mac may even mark that. You know, sometimes something as simple as that can work. It did. Didn't on this one, but the next bar did. But I don't know. It's something about these. I just find second entries not as reliable as they used to be. Maybe it's just me. They just don't work as well. Sometimes, if it's clean, yeah, this for me is a bit small, but it is 2 legs down, and it did work. But if you took the same one on here, the bar was a bit naff on here. To be fair, it was a tick off a doji, but it's kind of the same, isn't it? Then the next bar was strong, so eventually that took it up. So there you go. I've got nothing on the CL chart. It's just bouncing up and down. I ignore Max markings. I'll mark out. Yeah, if it works, he'll mark it. If it doesn't work, he won't. So that is up now about 7. Yeah, just below 7. So let's say about here. So we're getting very close to overnight highs there. Does look like we're targeting this area. Well, you never know. It may at this turn, mightn't it? So one thing I'm noticing now is this. Now this, for me, is losing a little bit of momentum now. It may rocket up here straight through this, but if this stands, this is losing momentum, so I expect a break. If it pulls back to the EMA, this will have a break for me. We've broken above this. As we've had that push down, we've broken above any little liquidity that may have been here. Now, it's clearly slowing a little. Now, it's trying to hold here, but my guess is if this gets down to the EMA, this will break this channel. Because we're clearly struggling a bit. We've come off the bottom there, and we've not quite gone to the top. We've had another go. We've managed to break above it, and we're trying. You never know. There's still quite a lot of orders here, so that still may pull it up. But for me, if I was in this trade from down here or here or so, and I saw it starting to go like that, I'd be thinking about taking profits personally. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't counter trend trade. If you don't counter trend trade, automatically you'll win more and lose less. I mean, look, that to me is a relatively strong trend. Now picking a top, it's risky as hell, isn't it? I mean, if you'd have shorted this, there'd have been what, 4 points maximum there. If you'd have shorted this, there'd have been 2 3/4 points maximum there. If you shorted this, well, it wouldn't have worked, would it? So if you think there's 8 points of pulling back here, but 50 odd points of going up, that's just by pure odds. You got more chance of just going long every time it gets to the EMA. In fact, a lot of traders do that. They'll just, as soon as it in a strong trend, they use, whether it's the 21-day, 13, 18, 12, or whatever it is. A lot of traders will just drop an order in here, which is why we can usually see them, but there's not many here. But if we have a break, my guess is we may see some. But there's not much in the way of buyers, but there's a lot more in the way of sellers. In fact, about 706. 706. There's 947 contracts there. Is it 6 or just above? Yeah, it's about 6.5, 6.75. So there's a lot of contracts for sale there. Now, that may just be trying to yank price up, but I wouldn't be taking a long here. Now, having said that, well, there we go. It didn't work anyway, but see how we're losing momentum. See what's happening now? We're getting a break. So that'll stop you getting into even a second entry long here when we do this. Now, whether this thing will push up now, it may do because it's strong. But I wouldn't get in here, to be honest with you. It's too risky. But on here, it doesn't look that bad, does it? So it may work. I've got it as a small break here. It's negligible, I think. You could adjust it a fraction, but I wouldn't take this anyway. But I would say 9.5 times out of 10 when it does that, and I assume we're going to get a break, we get a break. So it does help you make your decisions there. If we had two nice legs down, you may be inclined to get into a long there, and look what happened. And we got the break that I expected. So we're looking for areas where there's going to be buyers here, because I do expect it to push up and attempt to make a new high. But it's where catching it right. If you get a bit premature, it can trigger and come down some more. So we got a little micro there with a break and a new low. It's an inside bar there, so no good there anyway. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Okay, let's have a little look here. It's going sideways now, so for me, this is going to come down a little bit more. So sellers at 2.5, which is right at the top. Sellers at, say, about 6. So the sellers up here are coming down a little bit now. Strong up there. Whether that's just going to yank it up for nothing, but to be honest with you, this would be a place to sell right at the tops. We're having a break of this channel now, so you'd expect it to push up. So the fact that there's 900 odd contracts there doesn't surprise me. It's around about six and a half. Let me have a look. 6.5. Yeah, it's around about there. Sellers there. That would kind of make sense, wasn't it? So we've got a channel break and a new low. There is a higher low there. I'm sitting tight here. It's a bit congested here. It's not super clear. It may work, but I'm staying out of this at the moment. EMA's a bit flat. There's not a huge amount of buyers down here, so it may move up. But as it's going like this, I'm just sitting tight here. I am. May come down a little bit further. So if you took that, that's not what you want to see. It may hold, but that EMA's flat. It's a toss of a coin whether that goes up, I think. But I have a sneaky feeling it'll work, especially if you've got that one there now. There's a second entry short there, so there's a possible failure. Now, it may be a bit of a double trap. We may go up, tick above here, and then drop. So I don't think it's the worst trade in the world if that finishes bullish, but I don't want to go long into this. Let's see what happens. I don't think it'll finish strong. I would prefer much a slightly larger break than this. I wouldn't expect a small break and it to push straight up. You know, the bigger these channels are, the bigger the break. I'd like to see something like that in an ideal world, somewhere around about there, and then a bit higher. But if you get in here, it's just risky, I think. Super risky. It may work, but my guess is it won't. Just wait. So I agree with crypto. More people learn every day with you than those reviews. I wish when I started you were streaming so I could. Oh, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It's kind of like why I mean, you guys know me anyway. I'm quite a talker, aren't I? But I like talking about what I'm seeing. You know, like a pilot, they go through their kind of checklist. They talk out loud. I find I hear things a little bit better when I'm talking out aloud. And if it helps you guys, at least you've got a couple of opinions. Sometimes two heads are better than one, aren't they? So I think it's always nice if you can to have another opinion, because if you're of a certain opinion and someone else is, it does. Because we know there's, when you're learning to trade, because there's so much in the way of failure, it's very easy to get those doubts in your head, isn't it? And kind of second guess yourself. I mean, I still browse on this from time to time. If I'm not sure, I just want to see what other people are kind of looking at. You know what I mean? But what I will, what's happened there? What I will say, I've been doing it long enough now to these little quirks that if you get in here, it's too premature. And the only way you learn those really is by taking them and getting stung. And then when you've taken them half a dozen times, you start to see this picture again and you're thinking, oh, I've been here before. I don't like this. So, I mean, this may push up. You may call that a triple test. I'm just not sure whether I feel like I'd like to see a little bit more of a break yet or not. Having said that, if you look on Bookmap, there's not a great deal. There are some there. There's 114, 15 contracts there and a little bit above. So it may come down a little bit more. Let's see where a measured leg would take us. Yeah, very close to there. There's probably going to be some stops there. Whether it comes down there or not, I think that might be a little bit too low. Who knows? So maybe somewhere along those lines. It's hard to say. Sure if you're that session with Vladdy when he said. Oh yes, I would. I did pop in there yesterday, actually. Round numbers. I personally, well, maybe I should. I don't necessarily consider that so much. But Vlad has been trading longer than me, and I don't think you say stuff like that if these round numbers have caused you problems in the past. He says now I've kind of read the books and seen the videos where they talk about round numbers. Human beings like to do things at nice round numbers. What does my daughter do? She'll have to what is it? She'll have to turn something she doesn't like. I don't know. I'll tell you what I was watching yesterday. You know the food pyramid that we've been looking at, where it's showing there's grains and breads and cereals and all at the bottom. It's more or less been reversed now. And I've kind of had that opinion about carbohydrates. The amount of carbohydrates we've been knocking down ourselves for years, over the last 30, 40 years. And if you look, that mental health issues are up, ADHD is up, autism is up, and all that sort of stuff. And I think there's a lot to it. Depression's up, anxiety's up. It's all kind of gone crazy, isn't it? So I was watching a video with my wife this morning. She's off ill at the moment. I think she's had one I had over Christmas, but we were watching this guy talking about the food pyramid that's changing. They're saying now eat more red meats, fish, whole milk, butter, cheese. Much kind of better to, because I suppose our generation, it was all about more low fat and all this. But it's changing, isn't it? And we have these little quirks where maybe we didn't have them in the past. Who knows? Karina, good morning to you. I believe nothing he says. You have to ban someone. Karina's on the prowl. I don't know who that is. Karina's on the prowl. Watch yourself, guys. Karina's on the prowl today. She's in a banning mood. No, I've always been a bit interested in nutrition. It's always interested me. I was a chef, for the first part of my adult life, so I've always been interested in nutrition. It's amazing. There's more cases of depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, and all that. There's way more than there used to be. And if you look at the way we've been eating, crazy, isn't it? Reason why I agree trading is because I have FOMO. And I drew a trend line wrong, and actually somewhere it makes sense relative to the trade I'm about to take. He's okay, Vlad, isn't he? He's got that kind of, he swears a lot. Doesn't really bother me, but I don't know. Sometimes I think when it first went out, I had a lot of feedback from it because I posted his video. But when you get to know him a bit, I had a phone call. He phoned me up maybe just before Christmas, and I had a chat with him for about half an hour. He's actually all right. He's actually all right. He's quite a feisty type of guy, but he's all right actually. He's all right. I did message him a while ago and said I can't. I don't want to carry on with the paid membership, mainly because I'm streaming on Friday. I need Friday and Sundays, but my wife wasn't well yesterday. She was in bed, so my daughter was doing some stuff. So I came and had a little chat. He had his usual 3-hour thing, and I had a little chat yesterday. So I can come and go, but he gave me free access uh, and he said, I'll give you free access and make. So that was nice of him, but he's out. So, okay, this is interesting. There's a second entry short here. So a possible failure. There's going to be a hell of a lot of stops there. And most of the orders are above 7,000, which is there. Now, the only slight concern I have is this pushes up and maybe comes down for a second leg. So looking on my second chart, this is just pure chop at the moment. So I'm just going to sit and watch. If we get a break out the bottom, I want to kind of see how it reacts. So there are buyers at 90. So let's have a look at this channel. This channel for me looks okay. It's fitting nice along the top. We're clearly losing momentum, and that's created a break, which we expected. We'll go in sideways. It's not reversing, so my guess is it's still likely to push up. Queen here, behave. So I still think at the moment that this is likely to continue up. I don't think this, to me, is looking like it's reversing. There is a second entry short there, which is coming down a little bit. Having said that, I still, what I'm going to do is just put that there, like that. Little channel with a break and a new low by a few ticks. So I just want to see if we get some kind of reaction here. Now, if you look there, there is a little bit of support there, or a little bit of resistance there, which looks like it may be turning into support. But I think what I'd rather do is see a breakout and then maybe catch a higher low. I'm just not doing anything here at the moment. Trouble is, when it's chopping sideways like this, the unfortunate thing is sometimes it'll just take off then, but if you haven't got nothing, you can't take nothing, and if you do, you're running the risk. It's more of a potluck thing than if you just jump in here. Now, we have had 3 little bounces on there. I mean, in my opinion, taking that is just risky. It may work, but it's 13 ticks, tick above, tick below, and we're going into support. So it may work and push up, or we may come down a bit lower, but it's not something that interests me in the slightest. Exactly right, too much chop. It's dangerous trading like this. I know sometimes, but you guys who are maybe getting onto that next level where you've managed to get a bit of payment, but you're still struggling to stay out. I don't know how many times I sat here for 3 hours praising myself because I managed to keep patience, only to take a stupid trade in the last 3 minutes. I can't tell you how many times I did that. So it's super important to really focus on that patience. But if you can hold it and wait patiently, the next winning trade feels all the better. It really does. You get a real big boost then because you've done well to hold yourself and you've got in on a really good solid entry. But in all honesty, I thought patience was the one thing I would struggle with more than anything. It's probably my strongest asset at the moment. But yeah, I always thought, because I've always been a bit impatient in life. I've always wanted to learn everything in one day. You've done that, have you? Yeah, we've all done it. It's so tempting because you see this and you're trying to make something of it, as opposed to waiting for something just to jump out and wave in front of you and go, well, that's the one. We jump all over it, rather than trying to work out what's going on and thinking, oh, if this goes up, if you're saying in your conversation when you're looking at a trade, I think it's probably best to leave it alone. If we push up here, you're almost trying to, you're making something out of nothing. I don't know if some of you guys are old enough to remember the A-Team, but they can make something out of nothing. It don't work in trading. You've got to wait for something obvious that drops in your lap. You will get away with it sometimes, but uh, what I'm trying to think is I want to know something's that good enough that a bunch of traders going to go, that's the way. But sometimes when you get this here and you get a higher low, it will work. But just the fact of going along into a load of support for me, it's not sensible. I don't think it doesn't really matter whether it works or not. It'll fail more times than it works. Guaranteed. When you do nothing, it works, and as soon as you decide to get in next time, it screws you. But there are 900 contracts here. It's quite a distance though, so where are they? Looks to me around about 6 and a quarter, but that's still quite far from price. Uh, it may work. Sometimes it'll do this. It'll look a few times like it's doing it. It'll push up. People will think, oh, I've missed it. It'll pull back a bit, push up again. People think, oh, I've missed it. It'll give you one more chance. You jump in and it turns. I can't tell you how many times it does that. It almost sucks you in. It's quick. You're going to miss it. I'll give you one more chance, and you take it on the third time. Boom, it does that. It's they say the market isn't personal. I beg to differ. It is. It's looking like it's egging you on and going, go on, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it, and all of a sudden, gives you three little pushes. You think on the third push, oh, I'll take it. I'm going to miss it, and all of a sudden, it turns. Like the market's a bastard. It ate your guts in, as far as I'm concerned. You're going to have liquidity here, and lightly down at the bottom there. So we push down into it, and then we could push down again. We may not. The one thing that says we may not is there's not a huge amount of orders below. And there we go. It comes very close, and then all of a sudden it pushes. It's weird, isn't it? You do nothing, it shoots up. You jump in, it knackers you. Go way back. Machine for that one. I was a kid when I used to watch it, actually. It's one of my most favourite programs back in the day. That was. I think it was 80s. It was out mainly. Yeah, some of you are probably a bit too young for that. Don't know what you're missing. That was quality TV back then. Uh, so let's see what goes on now. So breakout, pullback. Now, are there going to be shorts? Thinking about taking it here. Yeah, someone said, "Did you take the second entry long to down?" He went, "No, I didn't. It's too risky. It is in the middle of the chop." Uh, the only other thing that bothers me is if we end up getting something like this. Uh, you just never know. It may come back, trap those. I just wouldn't take that off there because you never know whether it gives you a lower high. And we do get this second leg down, so I'm just sitting and waiting. Don't like these kind of breakout pullback scenarios. Not one with that close. Testing the highs. Disco, how you doing, buddy? So just looking this, I'm not going to take it, but we got a channel there. It looks like a little two-tiered channel, but the sideways will drop out the bottom. There's almost like a failure there. My guess is it's probably going to push up, but I go for 10 ticks on here, so there's just not enough if I wanted to. If I go 1 tick above there, I got a bit out 10 ticks. So it's got to get to 11. So is it going to get that high? It may do. May do. So we've had this 2 legs down, we've had this up, we've had 2 pushes down, retested the lows again. My guess is it's probably going to push up, but it's more of an educated guess than something I really want to jump into. We're supposed to be out before the highs, aren't we? And there's a few ticks there at best. So I'm just sitting to, we all have an idea where price is going, but I'm just leaving this for now. It's probably going to work, but I don't want probably. I want something. If we had something like that a little bit lower, and we had plenty of room, then I may reconsider it. We're at 9 ticks on it anyway, so. Kind of almost like a hidden second entry long there, isn't it? Down, up a bit and down, but I'm just sitting tight here because it may trigger you and we may come down a bit lower in the way of another leg. I don't like it. If this pushes up here, it's a bit congested there, so I don't like it. These areas of congestion here can be a bit trappy for me. There's going to be a lot of liquidity there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have a flush down. If we do have a flush down below all this, we're going to get that measured move. Okay, so that would have worked for 10 ticks. As I say, I don't think it was the worst trade in the world. But we're supposed to be out before these highs, really. It's just one of those things. So I'm all right to, excuse me, to leave that. It's just getting a little bit too close to the highs for my liking. I think Thomas Wade went to, what did he say? No fell on the fail second entry short and it reached 10 ticks. So the fail second entry short, it wouldn't have been this, it would have been that one there. Fail second entry short, really. It wouldn't have been there, you wouldn't enter there. You're not really trapping much. Well, maybe fail second entry short going on there. I wouldn't go long there that close because this thing could fail temporarily. There's no other failure there. Not on my chart there is anyway. Yeah, okay. So here, second entry short there. I mean, some may enter that on the engulfing on there. You're going to hit stops, aren't you? But I just don't like this. It's a fair size move up. So I would like to see another leg down to take out all this liquidity. There's going to be a bunch of it there. I don't like getting into trades in chop because often, especially we see it all the time, we go down, across and down. It's just like 2 legs. And you think once we get below there on this second chart, we got buyers there. I'd say quite a few. Once it pushes out and holds, there's going to be buyers jumping in there. I guarantee it. So you're going to have stops there, and stops there. So this could have a real quick flush down. I'm not saying it will do. That would be my concern, which is why I've got this as a possible second leg down. But if we can get down to here and get something strong and a real rejection off the lows, that may then be that move up. It's hard to say, but this for me is choppy and risky to get in, and for that reason, I think there's a fair chance this may come down. If it gets below that big bull bar there, it'll likely hit that one straight after, and that'll probably defer it straight down south to this level here. It's just what I tend to see. So I would just kind of just be patient and sit and wait for something a bit clearer, which we're just not getting at the moment. It's just too choppy. Now, sometimes the best will in the world, it'll continue on up anyway. But for me, I'd want to just leave this. We're clearly just getting choppy now anyway. It's congested here anyway, so there's nothing you can do here. So once we hit that bull bar there, that should create a little bit of a downdraft. We're below it now, so that'll be next. There we go. There goes that one. Down it comes. That'll be next. So this is quite broad, this. So the one good thing about that is you can't confuse that with a downtrend. So my guess is if we can get something strong off that bottom below there, we may get in. Sugar. We'll see. Let's see what happens. See, that would be very much a penguin style trade. Now, he wouldn't take it until it gets around about the middle, and I think sometimes he drops it down here, puts his stop down here, and gets out around about here. But so 26. Steve, I tried to send you a video on order flow about that second entry long last Friday, your Hotmail. Not sure if you got it. Let me have a look. Trouble is, I get so many damn emails, so much bloody junk. When we say it was last Friday. Last Friday. Oh, Friday. So it was only a few days ago, wasn't it? Let me have a look. No, not there. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that's the worst trade in the world. We didn't quite get. We got below all that, so I just want to give this a bit of space a minute. I'm not a massive fan of that. No, I can't see it, mate. It is working. I'd have preferred it to come just a touch lower. No, I'll tell you what. Let me, Steve, I'll just put my email on here. Try it with this one, bud. Oh, you dickhead. Send it to that one, bud, if you can. If that's okay, I appreciate it, mate. Wow, this is interesting. So if you took that, how far did it go up to what? It wouldn't have worked for me. That's bound to get stop date. Okay, so now that's interesting. Nice one. Cheers, pal. So let's have a look. Maybe a channel down here with a bounce. Let's have a look. We've come down to that measured move, very close to it. We have on here. Perfect measured move. It's just something about this I don't like. Channel break, no low. That doesn't look too bad, does it? You know what? Let's have a go at this.
Order
I
submitted.
don't think it looks too bad. You're going to have stops here. Looks good on the 10,000 tick chart, doesn't it? Risk is not huge. I don't like it now. It's pulling back. Not a huge risk. It's going to be stops up here, isn't there? Channel break, new low, right at the measured move. Let's see. Much in the way of orders. Channel break, new low. It's just struggling, isn't it? Go on, have a push up. I'm putting this at break even +1. If we get above there, we're okay. I'm not prepared to lose anything on this. Come on. I'm not losing.
Order filled.
Okay. I'm not risking anything there. We've had a little bit of a pullback already. Is everything closed? Yeah. It may work, but I don't think it's a terrible trade. It's right off that EMA. It gets above there, but it's struggling a bit, so I'm quite happy to get out there. Let me just disconnect. Disconnect and reconnect. What I like about it is we've had an exact measured move. The only orders I can see are right up here. There's a large amount of them. Now that to me is going to pull price up. It's around about 6, which is there. But it's not going up as strong as I'd have hoped. So I got a tick off it. It's better than a kick in the teeth. Well, overall, me accounts, it's $170 after fees. But if it gets above here, it'll probably work. But just, it's just struggling a bit for me. So we've got a little micro there. Probably going to work. It's got a little micro with a break and a new low. You can have sellers trapped there, guaranteed. It is working, I think, but just the fact that we had a bit of a pullback and we're struggling a bit is just concerning me. Now, it broke above there. It's one of them things, isn't it? It's struggling, I think, which is I'm glad I got out of it. It broke above there, and then we're pulling back a bit. Let me see if Thomas Wade is waiting for the higher low. So one took it, that's for certain. Oh, okay. So 2 people took it. 3 people took it. What time is it? 24. Yeah. So let's have a look at Dan's thing. Where did he take that? Okay, so there's Mac's chart. So he's got that as a nice fitting channel. No argument there. I like the channel. So let me have a look. Dan, Mac probably make it if it's blue, I guess. Let's have a look. Someone said they did, but they got scared. Same here. Mac probably mark it blue. It made a point, didn't it? So I didn't got scared. I took it as a green. Same. Dan took it as well, I think, as a green trade. Mac will mark it blue, I guess. Someone said 100%. So it is working. How far has it gone, though? So Mac will take it for a point anyway. It gets above there, but it's pulling back already sudden, so it's struggling for me. So, mate, yeah, I'm glad I got out of it, to be honest with you. I didn't like what it did when it pushed up. So ordinarily, see, something like that would push up and make a new high. But it's struggling. It may hold, but I'm not so sure. The market's definitely more finicky than it was, that's for certain. It seems harder to make a few quid. I can get rid of that now, Steve, can't I? Sorry, how many days on your first and second chart? So my first chart, I have 3 days. I usually have a bit more than that. I usually have about 10. I was messing around with it earlier because they were showing exactly the same number. And on this one, I've got 3 days, the one with, but sometimes I've noticed lately, sometimes when I open the chart, they're both the same number or close, so I have to mess around a little bit with them. So it may still hold. I certainly wouldn't get back in anyway, but this may have a massive move up, so maybe, well, look at this now. Would you go in long? Yeah, I wouldn't. It may work. If you get above it, it may have a strong push. That did hold, so you would have had a chance to get out again. So it's a bit choppy, but that one we broke below any previous liquidity there. So I'd have preferred the bar looking a bit better, but I think it was good enough. Channel break new low. You'd expect it to push up. It's just finding something strong off the bottom. I don't think it was the worst trade in the world, but it did struggle a bit. It went up a couple. You'd have got 2 points, I think, out of it. Let me have a look. So if you get a tick above, maybe not. 1.5, you'd have got 0.75 possibly. But look at that big bull bar. Look what's happened. That's trapping traders for sure, isn't it? Thomas Wade said he was looking for the higher low above the EMA, which is that one, but it's just too close to these highs, isn't it? We're clearly finding it difficult to get up. So that for me, it's losing a little bit of oomph. So I don't like this. 1 minute as a bear bar there. Looks like it's trapping that. So if you got long gear, you may have thought, well, let's get out here for a small loss. Then it comes down and traps the short, and that's starting to push up. But I don't know what it's going to do here, to be honest with you. I'd like to think it's probably going to go up purely because of these sellers up here. So look there, if that short came down, triggered by a tick, look at that. So that one would have held, did pull back and scare the living daylights out of you, but is it going up? Yeah, it's getting very trappy now, isn't it? See if it finally goes. It looks like it's mind you, see those big orders up here? Been yanked now. 706. Gone. Clearly looks like it's struggling, doesn't it? So there are some orders around there. A huge amount. 188. The more it's struggling, I think the less chance it's got of going up. Okay. Yeah. 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 I am. No. Hold on a second. Love you. Bye. Okay, let me have a look. Just below, let's say about 2. A little bit lower, that is. I would say probably above there. So is it going to get up there? I think it may do. But it's just dangerous as shit, this, isn't it, to be honest with you? Okay. Okay, so Dan actually took that same trade as me. I thought he might have done. I took on my left chart, uh, channel break, new low. As I say, I don't think it was a bad trade. Now, as of yet, it's still holding. Now, Dan only goes for 6 ticks, so it would be a little bit less relevant for him. So he got in was it a little bit lower? Yeah, it was a little bit lower. In fact, let's scrub that one. Let's shove that over there. This is where he got on here. It's about the same entry. Yeah, he goes for 6 ticks. It wouldn't have worked for me as of yet. I go for 3. It's got to get there. To be honest with you, all that pullback there, you just never quite know. But I think it's bounce, bounce, bounce. We got 1 there, 2, 3. Channel break, big push up, new low. You're going to trap shorts here. Looked even better on here, so it's probably going to work. But to be fair, I don't want to sit in all that. Once it got closer to the top, I was expecting a little bit of shove, which we didn't get. It's why I put it to break even +1. At least then I'm in a risk-free trade. You know, overall my accounts, I've made $170, which is something in it. But I'm quite okay where I put that one. I just didn't like it was struggling. The more things struggle, just the more you kind of lose. Do you really want to sit through all that again? Not really. Probably going to work. I'd say a lot of my trades that I do come out of, a good majority of them do work. So it would have worked. But there you go. It's just one of those things. Once it starts to go choppy, it does reduce the risk that it is going to work. Oh. Excuse me. So eventually got above here. Let's see how high it goes. Get rid of this a bit. Okay, eventually. I mean, you would expect that to. I mean, basically, we had 2 legs back, and it did work. Not before it came back and put you through a little bit of stress. But it eventually worked. It's probably going to break the highs. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. But I did have my doubts whether it was going to then. But you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? How long have we been going for? Hour and 25 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a quick cup of tea. I'm going to pop that on there. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so, I mean, we had 2 legs back, almost a measured leg, and eventually it worked up, so it did do what it was supposed to. It just got a little bit choppy, in between. Ah. Mm. Boring again, isn't it? Yeah, you're not wrong, Daryl. Slow and bloody boring, isn't it? Okay, so there was some sellers there, so we've got a channel break. 2 pushes to a new high. Where's this going to go? You'd expect a bit of a pullback. Uh, so we broke the highs, overnight highs. You'd probably expect a pullback, but you just never know. Yeah, 6.5 points away from all-time highs. Uh, yeah, someone's just mentioned in the score. It's awkward price action around here. It kind of is, isn't it? It's like yesterday we pushed up and it was a bit choppy. And it was up and down and up and a little bit weird, and then we had that couple of legs down to the overnights, and then that big sell-off. As soon as the market opened, we had a doji, pushed up, big bearish part, and then down it came. So, literally it just dropped the best part of 60 points and at 58 points-ish, more or less straight down. So quite a fair bit of them. Where did the market open here? So it was a reasonable bit of price. I suppose it does, though, if market sells off quickly. Traders try and capture some of it, so it's no wonder there's a reasonable amount of price action overnight. That was when the market opened. So buyers at around about 707, just under. So let's pop it about there. So some buyers there. Now, is this thing going to go up for a second leg? I think it's a big ask. I mean, we've got a leg up with a correction, and we've got the start of another leg up. Trouble is, whenever we get into all-time highs, you never quite know what traders are going to do, whether it's going to slice through it or whether it's just hard to know what's going on at the moment, isn't it? And the world's, the UK is crap at the moment. I don't know what the FTSE's doing, but trouble is you never get as much growth as you do in US markets. US market, if you look at the S&P 500 over the last 10 years and look at the FTSE, there's no comparison. S&P 500 dwarfs it. So yeah, I mean, it's. I was listening to a bit of Trump talking this morning. When it was yesterday, I was watching it this morning. He's talking a little bit about Iran. You don't know what they're going to do in Iran. And obviously lately with Venezuela and this about Greenland. I don't know what's going on in the world, but I think it's Iran that's the more one that could, I think, cause the markets to mess around. How about Pierre's been lately? Only got 2 trades this year. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. But the good thing is that tells me you're patient. So it's good, that is. But yeah, we do have times like this. I can't think. The trouble is when you get through them and things pick up a bit, you tend to forget them, don't you? But yeah, it's been. I think the lot for me. The last month's been crap. The month 5 weeks, but this year, I suppose this is kind of what is this kind of the main second the second week back. You expect things to hopefully. Trouble is, around all-time highs, you don't know what it's going to do. You don't know whether they're going to sell this. I mean, look, we got up here, didn't we? We broke previous, and then the thing just dropped, didn't it? So you never quite know whether we're just having one leg up and a second leg. It's hard to know whether this thing's going to slice through it and continue up, or whether it's going to turn. All-time highs, obviously, I suppose it does create a little bit of uncertainty, which I suppose can make the markets a little bit finicky. Let's open this up a bit. That doesn't look terrible for me. It's fitting relatively nice, that, I think. Something like that. So what have I got? I've got buyers a little bit below 5. In fact, there's quite a few around this area here. So let's put it around about there. You just never know. We could come back in half an hour and prices might be up here. Or they could be down here. You know, it's interesting what Dan said. You know, this trade I took here, Dan took it, but on this one, and he said, I think it didn't hit his 6 points before it pulled back. Or did it? Let me have a look. I think he got in there. Did it hit his 6? Maybe it did. He got a tick above it, see, doesn't he? So, yeah. Somebody said something to him. He said, I just trusted the fact that we'd had a triple test, 1, 2, 3, and they were ranging. So that's kind of why I took it. If I'd have waited, it would have worked. Trouble is, when it starts to go sideways like that, the chance of it going wrong jumps up dramatically. So if I didn't get out there, once it got above that bar, I put me stop here because I thought if it doesn't get to the top and it comes back, I'm not prepared to lose on it because it is going sideways. But 1, 2, 3, quadruple test for me. We've got a channel with a break and a new low. That's bound to trap traders. But it pushed above it. I expected it to go that little bit higher quite quick. But then it started chopping. It did hold, but do you really want to sit through all that? Thing about I like about scalping is you're in and out. You're not sat there for, for ages. So that's only really a first entry. I'm just sitting tight here. We've got a little channel. I want that to come back a bit. If it comes back a bit and gives us a bullish bar, I may have a go at that because I think that looks okay. We've got buyers at fraction below 5. Let's call it 475. So that would be right there. So let's call it 475, which is about there. So if we had a break-in, came down again, that wouldn't be a bad option to go long. I mean, at the moment, we pushed up. We've made a new high here comfortably. So we've had 2 legs back. We've had 2 pushes up to a new high, pull back, higher, low, and this thing's still gone higher. All-time highs are up here. So if we got a second little leg down, I may have a long there. I know sometimes you think, sometimes when I see this, you're thinking it's gone up for so long, surely it's got more chance of coming back. And whenever I've traded stupidly on evaluations and shorted these areas thinking we're right up, a lot of the times it just continues on up. So at the moment, we're clearly trending up at the moment. Having said that, we have broken highs, so it's hard to know what it's going to do. But there are going to be people shorting this. You expect it. So if it looks like we may be trapping some shorts, I may have a go because we've got orders down here, and at 10, we've got sellers at 10. In fact, the most sellers are up at 15. Which is there. So I think there's a good chance this could go higher. So I'm just going to get we'll see how this works out here. Trouble is, see those sellers at 10? That's there before the highs. That always worries me. Just below 5. The sellers there. If traders thinking this is going to push up, why would you sell there before the highs there? That concerns me. You don't know whether you're going to go long and it's going to stop you. That does look like a single channel to me, to be honest with you. It wouldn't work just that one, so maybe it's not the worst trade in the world. No good there anyway. Let's see if it looks a bit better on here. It's not reversing heavily, that's for certain anyway. There's no way I could make that into one channel. It wouldn't work. I'm thinking if this comes down to here, there is still quite a few orders down here. I would prefer the higher low, really. See, this is all played out 2 legs back, 2 legs up, but based on what I'm seeing up here, I much prefer it when I see strong orders above the highs, which tells me this channel may play out. So rather than take the second entry long, which may trap you and give you a long failure, I'd rather wait for the higher low. Chances are then you're not going to get trapped in the long failure. First time watching you. Nice work. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. I was open 707 and tend to stay away from trades at that level. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. Certain levels. I mean, you know, around. I don't pay too much attention to him, but I know I was chatting with a guy on the Discord last night. He doesn't trade anywhere around these levels, but we have pushed up quite strongly above them. We're not far from all-time highs, 6.5 points, somewhere along there, those lines. Yeah, just a little bit over 6 points. So the second entry long here, mind you, this thing isn't racing down. It doesn't look like it's reversing to me. It does look like it's continuing. Where are you from anyway? So I made. Well, I wish you guys would have easier names. I might call you Imad. Are you from Morocco? Fantastic. North Africa, lovely. I'm guessing you're basking in warm weather, are you, at the moment? We've just had about 6 inches of snow. Mind you, we had 6 inches of snow, I think, on Thursday, late Thursday night. It's completely disappeared now. Temperature, it's around about 8 or 9 degrees centigrade today, so it's just literally completely disappeared. It's amazing how quick snow can come, and then literally 4 days later, there's no sign of it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it's completely gone. I'm having trouble with Rhythmic today. Mine keeps disconnecting. Not today. Mine does occasionally. I'll look here and that'll have disappeared. Just keep an eye on it. Just open it back up. Sometimes it does that. You're welcome to my house if you pass. I've not been there. I've been to Africa a couple of times. I've been to Egypt like most have. I've been to Kenya. Yeah, people kind of forget Morocco is in Africa, don't they? They tend to think somewhere else, but yeah. So if you took the second entry long there, that'll stop you out. Pretty sure of it. So there is probably a failure there, second entry long stroke failure. Would I want to go short there? Not necessarily, because we have got a channel up, and as we know, 9 times out of 10, we break a channel, we'll make a new high. In fact, sometimes more than that. So this isn't going down as strongly as I would have expected to for a reversal. So let's see what happens here. So now that bar there, if you took the second entry long, you got stopped out. There could be a double trap here. See what happens with this, with the failure. As I say, I wouldn't take the failure. EMA is going flat. And we have got what looks like a channel up here. I don't think you can confuse that with this. It doesn't work with that, to be fair. So this, for me, looks like a larger channel, so there's still a chance this could come up. But I would much prefer the higher low. But there is going to be traders trapped here. But you've got to be super careful. If this pushes up here, it's a little bit congested here, so it could go wrong. Let me have a look. Let me just see if a down channel works. Yeah, there is a possibility there could be something like that. It's quite small and compact, so I'm not massively wrapped about it. Having said that, we've got a little channel down, a break. We could make a new low from there, which may trap that. I think it's a bit premature to go long there because it's a little bit stacking up now. That's if it forms. It may work, but on my other chart, it's an inside bar, so I wouldn't take it anyway. It's just weak then. But we've got what looks like a little channel down here, so this may trigger. There's your break from the channel, and we may come down. This to me is a bit stacked, so my guess is this may be a little bit trappy. We've got buyers at 702, quite stronger buyers, which is down there. What was this? Let's get rid of that. It's a bit trappy. This is a bit congested, so it may push up, take that out, or it may come down, take that out. I don't know. But on my main chart, it's sideways now, so nothing we can do. We sit and twiddle our thumbs. So that just done that automatically, it has, hasn't it? Possible. There's two scenarios there, isn't there? Maybe a smaller with a new low. Now, the break is about the right size for the channel. Looks like it may be working. The only other thing that concerns me again is there are sellers at 10, which is there before the highs. I much prefer them. If I'm riding this thing up to break the highs, I don't want to see sellers just before the highs. That makes me nervous. So we got a channel down there with a break. Is this going to come down for a second leg? It's hard to say. That's what concerns me about going long. Struggling a bit here. Really slow today, isn't it? That as well. I mean, you had a break from there looking for a new height. Didn't half chop around for a while before it eventually worked. Trouble is, when you get these breaks, ideally you want to get in and get out quick, but it's taken a while just to get these breaks. So that was the break there. So let's put that there. So where are we? 22. Where are we now? 32. So we've been doing this for 18 minutes. That is not what you want to happen. This is what's worrying me for this bar here. We got a channel down here with a break. Now, sometimes these will just work, but that for me isn't a strong position to enter. If it would have been a strong position, usually price takes off. It looks like it's working anyway, but it's irrelevant really. And if you look on here as well, it's much clearer on here. It's just clearly choppy and it's dangerous. We've broke new highs for here, so you don't know what traders are doing here. There are sellers there before the highs. I would like to see sellers here and here. Then maybe I may look to get in here, but it's just not clear, is it? And the simple answer is, if you're not sure, you're always better off. The one thing you can guarantee in trading, the one and only guarantee you've got in trading, that is, if you don't take a trade, you won't lose any money. Failing that, there's always a possibility that you can lose in a trade. But if something's not clear, you're always best off to leave it. It didn't bother me when I sit here for 4 hours without a trade. It's not my job to sort of to take a trade. It's my job really just to wait for one to get offered on a plate. Here you go. Do you want to take it? And that's kind of it. But gone are my days of trying to make something out of nothing. I wait for something to give me something pretty certain that I kind of expected. And then I'll kind of have a go at it then. But lately it has been choppy, so things have been a little bit harder. And the longer you go without a trade, the more kind of you have trust issues, and you know, you're kind of likely, really, once it starts to go in your favour, to be thinking, should I get out and make something, or you know what I mean? So this is why I never got in here. Now I go for 3 points. It would have been a couple of ticks short, but whenever we're going sideways, there's an opportunity. There's a chance that this could come down for a second leg. I'm not saying it will, but this is kind of what I expected. I didn't expect it to push straight up. I expected, you know, something, especially when you look on this. But if you look here now, there is kind of, let's have a look. No, it's not really. You can have some shorts trapped here, but do I really want to go long at the moment? It's tough. We pushed up there, got to this level, close to where those sellers are there, and I'm guessing we had some aggressive sellers jump in. Chris, how you doing, buddy? Enjoyed your contributions. Did I sound okay, mate? I think I'd had about three double single malts. I didn't know whether I sounded like I don't know. I'm thinking, did I speak a bit too much there? But yeah, it's good for me. I like it. I sounded okay. Yeah, it's good for me. I like sort of hearing my thoughts confirmed by someone more experienced than me. You know what I mean? It's nice when we kind of all agree for the most. I know Vlad says, you know, Mac takes different. We all have our kind of favourite setups, don't we? And although we generally trade the same thing, we all have a slight different outlook on the market, don't we? But yeah, it was all right, actually. I quite enjoyed coming in yesterday. I don't usually on a Sunday. Usually I'm with the family on a Sunday, but my wife's not feeling too well at the moment. She's got the cold I had, so she's just dossing on the settee. So I came up last night. Daughter was busy doing something, diner her or whatever she was doing. So I came up, but I don't like usually doing 3 hours on a Sunday. I've found I operate much better now, having a nice weekend off away from it. You can get a little bit too obsessed where we're trading. I certainly have for a long time. So I've tried to split that. At the end of the day, you know, whatever job you do in life, you don't work 7 days a week. You need that kind of rest. That's your brain a lot of good. Right up there with the Marcos and Thomas Wades of Pat students. Thanks, mate. You know, I do see things much clearer now. But it's taken me a little over 5 years. I got to say, it's way longer than I ever thought trading would take. Way longer. I told my wife after 12 months I'd be earning 20 grand a month. And here I am 5, did I say 20 grand? Yeah, here I am 5 years later and still not making 20 grand a month. But hopefully my target for this year, I don't like having a monetary target. But over 12 months, I think it's certainly realistic, quite realistic for me to hit the 100,000 this year. And if I can hit that, I'd be over the moon. I really would. You know, I want to make some good money, but I'm realistic. And I don't think that 100,000, it's around about $8,000. Now, obviously, I've got to build these accounts up, but I think it's quite realistic that I hit $100,000. It'd just be nice to say I'm a 6-figure trader. And obviously, it's much easier to do it in dollars. I need to hit about $130,000 to hit 100,000 British pounds. But either way, I'll be over the moon. So there is a bearish bar there. Now that may be trapping some traders. It looks like it is. Having said that, because we broke an all-time highs, my concern is we may do something like that again. But it is working. If you, where would you wouldn't get in there for a starters. There's no entry there, unfortunately. Here, you could go with that. But we're close to the highs again, aren't we? That's the unfortunate thing, really. So it would have worked for me, that bar, but we did take some heat. And I wouldn't say it was a great trade. If you look at it on the main chart, it's clearly sideways, and that's risky. So it's not as sideways here, but it's congested enough. That is congestion. clear congestion. But yeah, I mean, channel break, you expect us to make a new high, and we have done well. We've made a matching new high, but uh, it's one of them things, isn't it? You know what I mean? I like to be pretty certain. I don't know. I do have that thought sometimes. Maybe I'm a little overcautious, but I always think you go through stages of being careless and very much risk taking to being scared to take a trade. It doesn't scare me to take a trade, but I like to try and find something. They always say wait for the best setups. So I do wonder whether I'm a little bit overcautious, but I think it's better to be on that overprotective side, rather than the kind of a risk taker. Much better to be overcautious than careless, put it that way. But look at price now. See, look what's happening. We've just had a 12. It hasn't. Well, on this, it hasn't ticked that, but we've just had a 12 tick bar come down right at the top. So is this a second entry short? Is this coming down? My guess is if you took this short, it would probably push up and stop you out, but I'm not so sure. We got 2 legs down, 2 legs up. It's just unfortunate. It's just bloody slow. It is a pain in the arse sometimes. CL chart hasn't really been better. I looked at this second entry long there, but if you look, we didn't break below the bar, so it's an inside bar, unfortunately. But 2 legs, and as we've broken this level here, you don't know whether this is going to come down, but my guess is that was going to push up. We did, but unfortunately, it's an inside bar. But there's nothing. Was there something I was looking at? Yeah, the only one I probably would have looked at was that one there. Kind of second entry short stroke failure. But unfortunately, it was about 10 past 10 this morning, so I don't get to the charts now till around about 1:45-ish, 1:30, 1:45. So you don't really get much overnight, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was nothing I could see. There was a second entry short there, but that's close to the lows and way too far from the EMA for me. There was a stroke failure there, or a higher low off the bottom after we've had a break 2 legs down. I think there's a good chance this thing has a good move up, but same again. It was before 10 o'clock in the morning, so I was snuggled up in my bed at that time. Away with the fairies, so I wouldn't even know what was going on. There's the one good thing about having 20 accounts is even one trade a week. If you can get one winning trade a week, it's still over 500. On a calendar month, it's over 500. 20 accounts, it's still 10,000 a month. So even one measly trade a week can give you a nice living. I hope to get more, or I hope it's going to pick up. Vladdy's an unusual character. He's American. I'm pretty sure he's American, but he speaks, I don't know, it's Bulgarian language, I suppose it, isn't it? I know sometimes if he talks to his wife or shouts at his cat, he does it in, it's Bulgarian language? Speak Bulgarian? I suppose it is, isn't it? He speaks in a different language. He sounds super fluently. So I think he's got family, isn't he, in that area? So I don't know whether he's originally from there and maybe English wasn't his first language. I'm not sure. I'll ask him one day. He was born in Bulgaria, yeah. So when I think he I think he said yesterday one of his cats jumped up and stole a meatball. Now, how I like my food, I'm pretty sure that cat would have ended up buried in the back garden if it had stolen a meatball off my plate. But I think he shouted. His initial reaction was in Bulgarian, I think. So that tells me if you're speaking to your cat in Bulgarian, I'm pretty sure that's your natural language. But yeah, he went to US. Oh, 2 years old. Okay, so it depends whether his parents spoke Bulgarian in there. I suppose if it's their natural tongue, he will probably use it as his first language. But I suppose English is pretty much as second nature as you can, I suppose, isn't it? But I'm not a cat fan. I used to have cats years ago, but I hate the damn things now. They're just, you pick one up, you don't know whether they're going to bite you, scratch you, or do nothing. But we're a dog family, actually. We love dogs. We got 2 cockapoos. I love having dogs in the house. I do. You can kick them up the arse, they'll still love you. Not that we do. But yeah, cats are a bit more unpredictable. This CL chart is just same again. It's looked like we got a channel with a break new high. It's kind of looking for a failure there. 2 legs down, trapping some longs, but it went sideways. So I've got to say, the first time I ever looked at this, maybe a year ago, I thought, wow, that looks amazing. Now, nothing's ever that good always, is it? But I've been looking at this now for a couple of 3 weeks, and it's not great. I don't know why. I can't see why the change it makes so difference, makes such a difference to all the charts. Uh, oh, I'll give us something. Yeah, I think I ended up $3,470 up last week. And considering how crap it's been, it's all right. You times that by 4, there's a good living there. So even when things are quiet, it's still possible to earn a good living. Well, absolutely, it's possible. I just hope it doesn't stay this quiet for long. I don't know what else do you guys trade apart from the NQ? I mean, I'm looking at 2 now, but mind you, the trouble is you don't know where the trade can appear. So sometimes if you're looking at 3, CL chart looks like a crackhead. No, that's a bit funny. Yeah, it's not great, is it? So we got maybe a bit of resistance there. You can see it across there, but is that a good enough reason to jump into a long there? Not really, is it? You at least want to move up. Trouble is, with all the will in the world, you can't change what these are doing, really, can you? Just have to. Thing is, if people aren't trading, there's not much money moving around, is there? I don't know. Perhaps I should give prayer a go. I'm not generally religious. I like to think there's somewhere else, but I'm always a seer before I believe a type. I might give it a go. It means we get some trades. there was another English guy. I can't remember his name. Was it Steve who was in Vladdy's forum? Was he talking yesterday? Or no, I think he was talking a few days ago. I listened to it back. He's from the UK. I think he's been trading about 8 years and he's just struggling. He's getting to the stage where he's thinking about giving it up. I was hoping to have a chat with him. He's struggling to make Pat's work. I think he moved on to try something different as well. Trouble is, for me, my honest opinion, now, it probably wouldn't be the strongest of opinions because I've only really traded Pats and looked at Penguin side of it, which is a blown out version. So I haven't looked at many other strategies. But one kind of conclusion I've got is the strategy is merely the where to enter and exit. And I think people probably underestimate. They think if they've got a good strategy, they're going to make it work so much quicker. I don't think that's the case. I think all these strategies, you need to learn how to read the markets before you implement them, because you can take a second entry long. If it's in the wrong place, it won't work. So I think people underestimate how long, people go, oh, this strategy, I've been doing it for 2 years. I'm not getting anywhere. Let's try another strategy. I think they're all as hard as each other. It's purely the main part of trading is down to context. You see me leave a lot of second entry longs, and a lot of them don't work. But it's down to context, really. Which takes the time to learn, really, because the market is so finicky. It's very trappy. It's very efficient at screwing you blind. It really is. So we've got 2 legs up there. Let's say 2 legs up, bearish bar. Ah, was that you, Chris? Was it? Okay. I was listening to you talking. I think it recorded from the 5th, I think. I thought it was an interesting listen actually. So question, mate. There was a question I wanted to, when I was listening to that, I thought it was a question. Trade wise, how many trades would you take in a day or in a week trading Pats roughly? Either by the day or either by the week? To a week. Okay, so you're not rushing, are you? You're not taking too many trades. I did wonder when I heard that. I'm thinking, are you taking like 3 or 4 trades a day? Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? I'll tell you what I would do though, mate, for sure. Post some pictures of your losing trades. That will really help people figure out where you may be going wrong. I think that's vital, that is. It's hard to know sometimes until somebody looks at your trades, has a different perspective and looks at your trades. I was kind of, because I know Vladdy asked you to post some, didn't he? And I was kind of hoping you would, because I'd be really curious to have a look and see where it looks like you may be going wrong. You certainly got staying power, that's for certain. If you've been trading for what, 7, 8 years, somewhere around about there, you've definitely got staying power. You did sound quite switched on, like you didn't take, not that you don't need to be switched on, but you didn't sound to me like you were a risk taker. You sounded like you were quite happy to play the game properly, without knowing where you enter and exit. It's most important, because that sorts out. Yeah. To me, the way you were speaking doesn't sound like you really have a problem with psychology when it comes to being in a trade or taking a trade or revenge trading. I bet you're not a revenge trader. You may have done in the past, but I bet you're not revenge trading. There is kind of like two legs up, kind of a failure there. Now, my guess is this is probably going to push up, but I've just got no room. And that does make it more risky. We've had a channel here with a break, a couple of pushes to a new high, so this could trap some longs and reverse. So I'm just sitting tight here. What happened is I could not find the setups, so relax my rules to find the 10 trades map marks. Yeah. Yeah, I would post you. See, for the first, when I started Pats a little over 4.5 years ago, I think for the first year or so, I posted my chart every day on the Facebook group and asked for feedbacks, and that helped me dramatically. Now, not a lot of people do that. People seem sometimes a little bit unwilling to show when they've taken losing trades, which it's a bit of a strange one, that. If you want to learn, I don't care what I'm the type of person that when I was at college that puts their hand up. If there's something I don't know, I'll put my hand up. You know what I mean? I'm not frightened. They say there's not such thing as a stupid question when I'm kind of like that. I don't mind the scrutiny if it helps me. So I did that, I think, for the first year and a half, until I found like, I didn't need it as much. So for kind of less experienced traders, you got people like Dan out there and Marco and a few others that have been doing it for a long time now. And they can look at your chart and tell you where you've gone wrong. So, if some of you guys are struggling and you're not quite sure why you may be going wrong, take a screenshot. If anybody doesn't know how to take a screenshot, just right click and you've got save chart image. But I would post it on the Facebook group and just ask for feedback. Ask for people's opinions and stuff. It's true, you get people who've been trading a week on there and think they'll give you think they know better than you, but and talk to people like Dan and Marco. I had, sometimes if I was laying in bed at night and something was playing on my mind, the good thing about messaging you US guys is you're around about 5 to 8 hours. So if I'm at 1 o'clock in the morning and something's on my mind, I know there's going to be US guys up who could give me a little bit of advice, and people are quite happy to give you advice. So I did that, and that really helped me. And obviously just trading as well. Don't worry about losses. That's where you learn. But I would definitely post your trades, Chris, and just try and you've obviously got some good attributes, trading. The fact that you're still doing it tells me a lot. You just need something, just needs tweaking there. So definitely post them and get some feedback. Okay, so there was a couple of legs up here in a bearish bar. Now, I wouldn't be shorting right there, personally. But there's bound to be traders who are. You're welcome, mate, anytime. Yeah, if you want to have a chat about trading, mate, you can message me anytime if there's stuff on your mind or whatever. I'm quite, you know what, mate, I'm happy to chat trading. I've got a sad old life. I don't get out much. Absolutely, mate. You can. I get Facebook messages all the time, mate. People like Sean, I chat to him all the time. I don't mind. It's an interest for me. I've had lots of help from people, and if I can, be comfort in here or just a bit of a chat, if something's on your mind, I'm quite. Yeah, I had a chat with Jay Wiley earlier. Another guy called Marlon, Karina, I'll chat with from time to time. Marco, Sean, and people like that. I'm quite happy to chat away. You're London based, aren't you? You're down that way somewhere, aren't you? Let's have a look here. I think you're London based, aren't you? Oh, you are, yeah. I've been down that neck of the woods for a long time. I think the last time I was in London or close to London was we flew from Heathrow to Cuba. It was a fair few years ago. That was the last time I was anywhere near London. 2 legs up. Let's have a look here. Now, if there's a second entry long that triggers, this may move down. The only trouble is we've been going up since 8:30 this morning. We've had a correction and it's going up again. Now, that is quite steep if this thing's going to go up for a second leg, but there's a possibility that we may get something like this or something like that. I would expect this to be a little bit wider. So a second entry long, if you took a long failure thinking you were trapping longs, there's a possibility this thing could go up. I'm not really sure. So I'm just going to sit tight here. So what I will say is on Bookmap, there are orders at 12. Sellers at just over 12 there, which is at the highs. So that will tell me perhaps this will push up, but we're getting ever so close to all-time highs up here. So you don't know whether this thing's going to turn on its tail and just drop like a stone. So this is a lot of that context I talk about. We got a little channel up and there is what could be second entry long, but because we've broken the highs here, I'm not sure. If you look on Bookmap, we've got mixed buyers and sellers. So I'm not sure about this. I don't think there's anything wider there as of yet that we can. Maybe it's hard to say, so I'm just going to sit tight here and just see what goes on. Now, there may be a second entry short on the CL. We've had a channel with a break, new high. Let me have a look at this. Let's see how this is forming. There, you're going to have longs there, longs there. Touch, touch, touch. Broke above this, had a new high, cleared out any liquidity. Strong push below the EMA. There is a little bit of support and resistance there, which you'd expect. But this to me looks like it may be reversing. See how this forms. Maybe a small risk. Yeah, I want to see some strong rejection. I don't know whether they're getting it. There is a second entry long on here, but at the moment, this is just congested. I don't think this is going to work. We'll see. I'll chuck it out of the way. If I do take it, I'll bring it in. I want to see some rejection there. See, the issue I have with going long here is this. It's sideways, which is telling me it's not being pulled strongly enough in one direction. And if you look on Bookmap, the numbers above and below, the sellers and the buyers, are very similar. So it's getting pulled from pillar to post, which is why it's going sideways, and that can be risky. And now look at it. See, it's moved up a little bit. Looked like it was going, and now it's pulled back. The only thing that slightly concerns me on here is we've bounced 1, 2, 3 times along support there. So I think I'm going to wait for the lower high. Just like to. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the lower high, I think. You can see we've bounced there. That was the open. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, that looks okay to me. It's not a huge risk, so it may be worth just, it doesn't get any bigger than 4 ticks. Just going to get an order.
Order submitted.
What happens. It's getting a nice bit of rejection off there. Clearly, we got a channel down there. Clearly, 2 legs up. Channel break, new high. 2 legs back, pushed up and pulled back again. Pushed up, pull back again. It'll have to finish good though. So we got a little micro down there with a break, a matching low. I'll see how good it looks. See, it is 2 legs back, but then if this trader's buying here, it's got up to the EMA, it's crossed over, it's pushed up and come down, which is showing me it's getting a little bit of rejection there. The good thing about it's a little bit less risk on here. 10 ticks, I'd only be risking $100 per account. Might go in on a limit order here.
Order submitted.
It's $120 risk. I don't think it looks okay, I think. It's not a huge risk. You're going to get some stops here, I think. Getting close to that bottom now. Bound to be buyers off there. Bound to be. Now, do I just take a little bit and guarantee myself $1,000 or what? think it's quite a strong reaction. You're going to get buyers off here for sure. How far off? We're 3 ticks off, aren't we?
Order filled.
Okay, now is everything shut? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Let me just disconnect and reconnect. So disconnect, disconnect, and reconnect. Everything's shut on. Let me just check everything's shut. Everything looks closed to me. Yeah, everything's closed. Okay, so what has gone on there? It's changed. How weird is that? The bars are changed. That's flipping weird, that is. The bar's changed. That was a little bearish bar there. Well, it was quite a decent bearish bar. It's done what I expected anyway. So strange. Sometimes when you open and change these charts, they do change a bit. Let's see if reloaded them has done anything. Doesn't get bloody different, does it? At least on the video, it'll look okay. So what I like about it anyway is we've had a channel up here with a break and a new high. Now, there's probably going to be traders thinking that that may be... so we got a break here, 2 legs down. So there was a bull bar there and a higher low there. So there's bound to be traders thinking this thing's going longer. Because you can micro adjust that. But for me, how did I have it? Trouble is, once it looks different, it's slightly different. We'd had a break and a new high anyway, but anyway, it's irrelevant. It's on the take profit into major support. There is, but I think there's going to be some longs trapped there, which is why I took it. All I was really interested in is getting down to this bar here, which did work. And I'm only going for 10 ticks. Not a huge risk, but this for me is a little downtrend. But I did take into consideration that I didn't mention the open, but I deemed it was worth taking it. It looked okay to me. It was clearly a little second entry short. It looked better on the video anyway, on the stream. So, you know, even taking a small amount like that, it's put me up a little over $2,000 for the day. So if you can do that twice in a week, $4,000, that's a fair old chunk of change, isn't it? You don't need to do a lot. So what is going on here? It's getting a bit finicky now, isn't it? So, the good thing is, I'm done for the day technically now, so I can just watch. I think it's always worth having some screen time. I always like to have a couple of 3 hours screen time. How long have we been going for now? Oh, right, we've actually been going a while, 2 hours, 50 minutes. So, day's flown today, to be honest with you. But what's that? Let's have a look. 1,100, just under, what's that, 15, nearly £1,600 for nearly 3 hours work. Uh, so let me just clean some of this up. So 15, right, okay, so we've got 220 odd contracts at 15 up there, all-time highs up there. We've got buyers at 05, which is there. Now, that's interesting, that is. Like, we may be going a little bit of range in here at the moment. There's also buyers at 250, which is, sorry, which is there just below. Now, there's bound to be liquidity there. So before this thing gets much higher, that's if it does go higher. I'd like to see it clear this. Now, let me just see if there's anything. So there is a possibility this could be ranging a little bit. I think I'm more interested to see what happens here. So there may be a little channel down here with a break. We may come down. So there's a couple of legs down, a couple of legs up, possibly a couple of legs down. Now, funnily enough, let me have a look. So the buyers there's 150 odd contracts there, touch higher, which is right at the level of here. Sorry, right at the lows of that bull bar there. And there are 160 odd contracts here. 200 odd contracts there. So there's quite an even number here, which is why it might be chopping up and down. So this is just sitting and waiting. Let's get rid of that. That is 05, isn't it? Yeah, 05, which is there. If it hits that, it'll clear that anyway. It's more prominent on here. There's a bull bar there, so we've got a little channel with a break and a little bull bar there. So there'll be liquidity there, liquidity there. So if this thing comes down, which I think it may do, now we've had a channel with a break and a new high, so it could reverse here. It could have reversed here, it could have reversed here, but I just think it's getting very close to that all-time highs. So looking at the whole day, certainly from about 9:30, just before that UK time, it's been a strong move up with a correction and up again. But we are getting to these all-time highs. So, you know, depending on how far you've held this thing for, are traders going to wait a little bit longer, or are they going to, you know, risk this thing reversing quickly? It's hard to say. I'll take the higher low if this sets up. The higher low. You're not at the bottom. Yeah, do you know, it's weird now. Spending a bit of time on Vlad's Discord, some people talk about trades. I can look at a trade and go, yes, I like it. No, I don't. It's hard sometimes to explain why I don't like something, or why I leave something. It's quite hard. And that tells me, you know, obviously, you know, if you go into hospital, you'll likely see a junior doctor who's a qualified doctor, but he's a junior doctor, and he'll look and make a few possible decisions, and then he'll talk to his to a senior doctor. And the longer you've been in and around working in a hospital, the more patients you've seen, you're going to get to the stage where you can look at scenario and make a much more informed decision than a less experienced doctor can make, which is kind of the same. It also reminds me of driving trading, because you get to that stage where a lot of it becomes second nature, and I remember the first time I ever got behind the wheel of a car, and I was looking when I was doing my feet, and I was looking at you're not really focusing on the bigger picture. And I found that with trading, I got to a point where I feel like I can look up and I'm not stuck in this little bubble of trying to manage all these little bits of things that are going on around me. I don't have to think about counting, so I can sit there and just think I like that or I don't like that. It's a much more relaxing way of trading, and I think something that just does come in time. But I remember I remember even considering looking at purchasing one of those indicators, those second entry indicators, because I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I couldn't figure. It took me ages to figure out what a failure was. I just couldn't get my head around it. But a lot of these things now, you kind of just see straight through. You don't need to mess around counting anymore. For me, if it looks right, but it's not a second entry, I'll take it. Uh, And that does come with time, but I've got to say it's way more relaxing and less taxing on you as well. I used to get to 3 hours and be absolutely buggered. But now I feel I'm surprised how quick 3 hours has gone today. Rodian, how you doing there, bud? I didn't see you there. It's all happening in politics in the UK again today. Had another defector. Is it Wazari? What's his name? He was in the public eye a lot during COVID. What's his name? He's defected to Reform. They are getting a massive following, Reform. I think you're going to get more and more as we get closer to a general election. I think you're going to get more and more defecting from Conservative. I think Reform is kind of going to take over. You don't even know whether they do some sort of a collaboration when it comes. You just never know what's going to happen. 3 years is a long way in it in politics. 3 days is a big amount in politics. So channel break. Now, I'm not taking a trade here because we've got a little channel with a break. This for me is right in the middle of this chop. So if you look, we've got a relatively even amount of buyers and sellers above and below. If you look where price is above here, below here, it's quite even. And if you look, Bookmap, we've gone sideways for quite a while, and that's just this lot here. So I'm not trading. You may say 2 legs down, high or low. I'm not trading in here because I wouldn't be shocked if it triggered that and came down to the bottom here. So this is a no trade zone around the middle for me now, really. So if you look, I took my trade, I think it was up here. Now, bearing in mind, that was a nice looking bearish bar when I took it. We've pushed down. We've got a really strong bull bar. That bull bar is triggered by one tick and prices looking like it's trying to push down. Now, we know that's where the open was and we can see support and resistance. But the way it's stacking up like that, my gut feeling is it's more likely going to push through it because you're going to have if this was a wider channel, which some traders may look upon it, we got 2 legs down, 1, 2, 3. Traders are going to go, oh yeah, triple test. Let's go long here. 2 legs down and a triple test, and what's happened? It's broke up by a tick and started to reverse. So my guess is that is a big target. And if it gets below there, I think it'll have a bit of a shove down. So I still think this is coming down somewhat, but it's not an easy chart today. It's very choppy, but as we've kind of gone like this and we've broken above it, my guess is it's going to have a good attempt to get back into it, but we'll keep an eye on that. It's coming down. It's very congested. Looks quite different, doesn't it, there? Have I got that more to the top? I think I have. I've got that more there. What do I think? I actually prefer it that way. So these do look quite different. It fits a little better on the bottom. So maybe this is still within this channel. It's hard to say. I wouldn't trade any of this anyway. It's just all tightly knitted together. Philip, how you doing, buddy? No idea why I don't have any data candles when I open a new chart in the CL. Make sure it's showing. I'm guessing you haven't got it now. CL rolls over monthly, so make sure. I'm guessing you've got 01 or 12 there, probably 01. So just make sure it's on 02, bud. So depending on if you're interested, I know Vladdy trades this and he goes for a 10 tick profit. I have my stop set to there, and obviously I can adjust it. It works out slightly less of a risk on this trade than it does on the ES. So I think it's a good combination. This, just keep it in mind, this has its own news as well. So don't just rely on the normal news we have that you're looking at for ES. Always check there's, and I think they call it an oil inventory or something. And even though it's a low impact news, it can still mess around with this. I got caught out with it once a while back. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably why. So just, it's the 2nd, so February's contract, and it changes every month. That does. I've had that same problem myself. Wondered why I had no data. You had it first. Yeah, I had a feeling you might have done, mate. So looking at these, this is interesting. Some stronger sellers there. And buyers at 2.5, which is down there. So sellers here and buyers here. So are we going to get 2 legs down in that case? We may well do. We've still got some up at 15. So my guess is what I'm looking here is probably going to break out the bottom. Now, whether it does it now or has another little pullback, but I would certainly suggest price. If you look on here as well, where is it, 2 or something? If you look on here, that 2.5 takes us well below that bull bar. If you'd have taken that one, it comes down and clears that out. That looks okay on here, doesn't it? It doesn't look right on this chart, but this one, it kind of works. So fortunately, that higher low there didn't trigger. Otherwise, there'd probably been trader's trap there. But not sure what that news is. Now, this to me looks dangerous. Now, on here, it doesn't look terrible, but I'm going to sit tight here because there's quite a chunk of traders looking to buy at this level here. So I'm going to sit tight here. This looks like a channel to me and going along in a channel. Now, I know in a range it's less important, but I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. It may work, but it's just too risky for me. We've got a channel with a break. It looks better on this side, but I'm still sitting tight. Now, interestingly enough, there are some orders at 05, which is there at the lows. So now the bar on here is 13 ticks and it hasn't finished yet, so I'm not interested in that. It's just too large, and not only that, you're going right into the midline there. And there are sellers at 10, so you get in one tick above that bar, point and a half, you're going to start hitting sellers. Now, there's going to be liquidity here, so it may go up, but I just don't like this. Here looks like a channel, so I'm sitting tight. There are buyers just below 705. So let's say they're one tick below that big bull bar. So those buyers there are one tick below this big bull bar. Obviously, that's a little bit further down. So I wouldn't want to go long right into the midline there, especially with a 14 tick bar, tick above, tick below. 16 ticks. I'm not risking that. No, it's not the worst place in the world to go long, but just based on what I'm seeing here, can you see those at 10 there? Those orders at 10 starting to fade a little bit. The stronger orders, I think, are down here. So let's see. We've got one test, second test. This is only a second test for me. I wouldn't consider this. No, it's not. It's a second test. If we'd had another bounce there and there was a channel break and a new long, I'd have had a go at it. Because it's the one thing going for it is it's in a nice area. It all lines up nice at the bottom. But another reason I wouldn't have a go at it, whenever you're in a range and we get a break out the top, almost always get one the other end. Now, whether this one will, because we've had a strong bounce here, maybe it won't, but I'm staying out of this anyway. Because we've had a channel break new high, so this may be reversing. There's always a possibility. I don't like the way this bar is flickering. It's hitting that midline and struggling. Okay, I think I'm done for the day, folks. 3 hours, 20 minutes. I did about 20 minutes before I came here. So I'm up a trade today anyway, so that's not too bad. So it's a good start to the week anyway. Not the easiest day again. We've still got a lot of chop, but hopefully things will pick up throughout the week. But a slow start to the new year, that's for certain, isn't it? Yeah, you take it easy, Richard. So I appreciate your company. As I say, and as I've said before, if anyone ever does want to talk shop, you feel free to message me anytime you like. I'm quite happy to talk, and I'm not just saying that willy-nilly. I don't mind at all. As a trader, I work full time, so I spend most of my day at home with I pop out for a walk and once now and again at the gym and a little bit of shopping and stuff. But you take it easy, Rodian. So I'll leave you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye for now.